So, what's the one thing that really separates a good student from a truly great one? It's not just about grades or test scores. It's actually about a specific set of skills that turn them into lifelong learners. Today, we're going to unlock that toolkit. All right, let's get into it.
This right here, this is the question. It's the one that keeps educators and probably a lot of parents up at night. How do we make sure that spark of curiosity we see in our students doesn't just flicker out after they leave the classroom? How do we fuel a fire that's going to last a lifetime?
We all know the goal, right? The desire is there, but the path forward can feel, well, a little foggy. What does independent learning actually look like, day to day? That's exactly what we're here to do. Provide a clear, actionable roadmap that just cuts right through that ambiguity. Okay, so here's our game plan. Our journey today is going to take us through 3 really distinct areas. First, we'll start by building a strong inner foundation. Then, we'll get equipped with the essential intellectual tools. And finally, we'll learn how to harness the power of relationships. By the end, you're going to see how all these pieces click together to create a truly independent learner. So, you might be asking, why bother with all these labels and definitions? I mean, can't we just let learning happen organically? It's a totally fair question, and the answer is actually crucial if we want to turn our good intentions into real, actual results. I want you to think of it this way. A huge, lofty goal like becoming an independent learner is like a distant mountain. Well, defining these competencies is like giving our students a map and a compass for the climb. It gives us all a shared language, so when we give feedback, it's not just a critique, it's a course correction on their journey right to the summit. Our roadmap is built around 7 core skills, or competencies. But to make them easier to remember and to really work with, we've grouped them into 3 terrains. Think of each one as having its own unique challenges and its own rewards. And mastering all 3, well, that's the key to becoming a truly versatile learner. Every great structure needs a solid foundation, right? The exact same thing is true for learning. Before we can build up, we have to build within. So this first terrain, it's all about the internal architecture of the mind. Our first competency is productive struggle. And let me tell you, this is an absolute game changer. It's that moment a student reframes a challenge from being a threat into an opportunity. It's the difference between saying, I can't do this, and saying, okay, I can't do this yet. This is the muscle of resilience being built in real time. This quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? Especially for high-achieving students, that fear of failure can be paralyzing. Productive struggle asks them to be vulnerable, to risk looking less than perfect for a little while for the sake of long-term growth. It is a profound shift in mindset. Okay, next up, self-regulation. Now, this is not just about resisting the urge to check your phone. In this specific context, within a yeshiva, which is an intensive religious learning institution, it's a conscious choice. It's about aligning your personal energy with the shared mission of the whole community. It's basically saying, my goals are tied up with our goals. And this chart just nails the distinction. You know the famous marshmallow test? That's about general self-control. But self-regulation, as we're talking about it here, it's about something much deeper. It's about purpose. It's not just about what you're resisting, it's about what you're actively striving for. All right, so with that inner foundation in place, we're ready to move on to our second terrain, the intellectual toolkit. These are the practical, hands-on skills that allow a learner to not just soak up information, but to actively shape it, to question it, and to really make it their own. We're going to start with time management. And let's be really clear here. This isn't just about color-coded calendars or to-do lists. It's the intellectual discipline it takes to translate a big, ambitious goal into a series of small, manageable steps. It's the bridge that gets you from intention to action. And the best part is, this is a skill that anyone can learn. It's not some innate talent you either have or you don't. Simple but really powerful strategies, like planning backwards from a deadline or breaking a huge project into smaller chunks, can make a world of difference. It's really all about working smarter, not just harder. So the next tool in our kit is handling cognitive complexity. And I want you to think of this one as the mental equivalent of running a marathon. It's the ability to just sit with a dense, challenging text, to really wrestle with its ambiguities, and to fight that urge to just find the easy answer. This is where the true intellectual heavy lifting happens. I love this quote. It's such a powerful reminder. Our brains are basically wired to look for the simple way out. But the most important questions, the most profound ideas, they're rarely simple. This competency is all about developing the intellectual patience to just live in those gray areas for a bit. to hold competing ideas in your mind without rushing to a judgment.
And now for our third and final terrain. We've talked about the inner world, we've talked about the intellectual tools, but let's be honest. Learning is not a solo sport. It is absolutely a team effort. This section is all about harnessing the power of our relationships to accelerate growth.
First up, connectedness with teachers. I want you to think back to your own school days for a second. The teachers who had the biggest impact on you were probably the ones you felt a real connection with, right? That relationship is not just a nice to have. It is a powerful motivator. It's the emotional fuel that keeps the whole learning engine running. And you know, this is a two-way street. Students can actually be the architects of these powerful relationships. It's about showing up, not just physically, but mentally. It's about demonstrating respect, coming prepared, and, this is crucial, treating feedback like it's a gift, not a criticism. Next, interpersonal relations. In the world of Torah study, the ultimate training ground for this is the chavrusa. That's the traditional study partnership. This is where the rubber really meets the road. It's where you learn to articulate your own ideas, to truly listen to someone else's perspective, and to build something together that neither of you could have possibly built alone.
And our final competency is future orientation. This is the why behind the what. It's the ability to see a clear, straight line connecting the hard work you're doing today with the person you actually want to become tomorrow. When that vision is clear, the daily grind suddenly becomes a purposeful journey.
So there we have it. We've explored the 3 terrains, and we've unpacked all 7 competencies. Now let's just zoom out for a second and see how these individual pieces fit together to create a seamless, powerful whole.
And this, right here, is the key insight. These are not 7 separate skills to just check off a list. No way. They are a dynamic, interconnected ecosystem. Think about it. A student who masters time management is going to find it way easier to engage in productive struggle. A student with a strong future orientation is much more likely to build connections with their teachers. Each skill literally amplifies all the others.
And that brings us to you. This roadmap isn't just some theoretical model, it's a mirror. So as you look at these 7 competencies, where do you see your greatest strength? And maybe more importantly, where do you see your greatest opportunity for growth? Because whether you're an educator, a parent, or a student on this journey yourself, the power to take that next step is in your hands.